Jeez, that's a lot of research on these franchises. How am I supposed to make a documentary series out of this?
Patrick, video call.
Who is it?
It's Oswald.
Really? I'll get it.
Hey Patrick, what's hoppin'?
Hey Oswald, what's up?
You know, blue tweeny skies, puppy clouds, Yinsen watching over me with his sharp glare.
What?
Oh, and Gremlin Gus upgraded the outside TV. Now we have stronger Wi-Fi.
Well, that's good to hear, but I'm guessing that's not why you're calling me.
Correctamundo. You see, me and the other tunes are renovating our world, and I have a favor to ask you.
Sure, anything for a friend.
Well, you know my pal Mickey is going to get his Dark game a new makeover, and I was wondering if you could review the first game. It could really help boost our creativity.
Oh, sorry Oswald. After I entered your world, I already reviewed the first game for Disney Video Game Month.
Oh.
If it makes you feel any better, I just played Epic Mickey 2 and I was actually planning to review it as part of the remaster celebration.
Are you sure about that? That was an event I personally rather forget.
I know, but how could I put this? The sequel to the Dark Disney video game Epic Mickey unfortunately was the last game to be produced by Junction Point Studio before they went bankrupt. Despite the game being available for more platforms like Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Wii U, and PC, and released a Nintendo 3DS Mickey game called Power Revolution, it didn't sell as much as originally projected, and people who played the game thought it was just okay. Due to the financial losses, all Epic Mickey ideas became part of the wasteland as scrapped or forgotten projects. These include an Epic Mickey 3, a racing game, and a spin-off called Epic Donald. Now, seeing how I love the first Epic Mickey, and I'm still hyped for the Rebrushed edition, I was excited at the time on getting the sequel when it first announced, and immediately bought it on its initial release. And while I don't play more than the first game for obvious reasons, I still didn't mind coming back to see what happened after Mickey saved Wasteland. So I'm going to look over what worked for the sequel, what didn't work, and answer the one question: is the Power 2 an Epic Mickey game worth remembering and replaying?
I guess that could work. We could use some feedback from it to help reconfigure the Epic franchise, if we can make that happen again in the future.
That's the spirit. Welcome to another episode of The One Reviews. It's time to go back to Wasteland to see its other attraction. This is my review of Epic Mickey 2, The Power of 2!
Did someone call me?
No, I'm talking about the other two.
Oh.
In the sequel, Oswald and the other Wastelanders are reconstructing Wasteland after the Blob was defeated, but there are massive earthquakes happening throughout the Forgotten Land. The Mad Doctor arrives to tell everyone that he has changed his ways and wants to help Wasteland and wants to be Oswald's partner again. On the other hand, Hortensia and Gremlin Gus doubt that the Doc is a good person, so they contact Mickey to come back to Wasteland to help them. So Mickey and Oswald will now have to work as a team to stop the earthquakes and save Wasteland once again. Before I address the pros and cons of the story, I would like to talk about the visuals first, because you can tell the dark atmosphere from the first game is not all that present compared to the sequel. And honestly, I don't mind that Wasteland is a bit more colorful now. You gotta keep in mind, the place became dark and gritty because of the Shadow Blot, and almost everything did get restored after Mickey defeated him. So even if some places like Oztown or Mean Street don't have that gloomy dark purple sky anymore, they are still really nice to look at. In fact, some of the creepy imageries are not that gone for good. You can still find them in some of the new locations like the Rainbow Caverns, the train tunnels, Blot Alley, the DECs, and especially the float yards. For the other settings, for what they are, they do look good. Some like Disney Gulch and Fort Wasteland have a feel of a dystopian version of Frontierland. You can explore parts of Jensen's workshop as a tutorial level, and Autotopia is like a big attraction based off a Tomorrowland ride. Another portion of the visuals that are still good are the 2D projection levels. They not only present some popular Mickey Mouse cartoons like the band concert, but now they include famous silly symphonies like Music Land, the Skeleton Dance, the Old Mill, and a segment from Fantasia, Night on Bald Mountain. The 2D anime cutscene got some improvements where it's now cleaner, and the same applies to the cinematic versions. Plus, we now get some spoken dialogue, which I actually like, but only on the cutscenes and NPC interactions. I'll get to the rest later. For the designs, whether it be a new or old character, the tunes do look amazing along with some of the enemies like the Blotlings, Beetleworks, or the new hybrid enemies, the Blotworks. The character animation is also smooth, where the rendering got a bit of an update. While they do reuse some existing music from the previous games, there are some new ones made for the debuted locations. In fact, the video game is also a musical. Yep, since Disney is known for creating some of the best songs to their classic movies, and a video game musical has happened before in something like the Atlantica level from Kingdom Hearts 2, they decided to put in some musical numbers for Epic Mickey 2. But there is a catch. They're all sung by the Mad Doctor. I wouldn't say he's sung in the cartoon he originated from, but more like speaking in rhymes than anything. So I do get why they wanted to give the songs to him. Now, some of the songs he actually sings are pretty good. I even sing some of them like Help Me, Help You, The Fall of Prescott, World of Evil, and The Mad Doctor's Plan. However, the rest of the songs don't work that much because 1, they gave too many songs to the doc, and 2, other tunes only have 1 or 2 small lines during the numbers.
Friends, 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 I stand before you a changed man.
Wait a minute, I just realized Disney has all kinds of deleted songs during their movie productions. Man or Mouse, Raindrops, Never Smile at a Crocodile. Do any of those exist in your world?
Oh, we have some over at the Symphony Forest near Gremlin Village. It's an area with music where all scrap or lost songs reside. The Cheshire Cat conducts the music to keep the notes under control.
Why him?
He just loves to sing.
My head begins to jingle most every time I nod, 'cause obviously, quite obviously, I'm odd.
But enough about songs, what about my new adventure with Mickey?
Well, that's the part where the game started to lose its heart of the game series.
The biggest problem why Epic Mickey 2 is inferior to the original is that the plot is really weak. It's the generic mystery story where Mickey and Oswald had to figure out what's causing the earthquakes, and we already know what's really going on. Even if the Mad Doctor is going on and on that he's a good person now, you'll be like Hortensia where you can't really trust him that much. It doesn't even explore the relationship between the characters like Mickey and Oswald, which was one of the best parts from the first game. We get a glimpse that Oswald may have been overshadowed by the Mad Doctor having authority, but they never brought it up again. Another underwhelming issue is that there's not many forgotten characters where the previous one had lots of them with different varieties. The only ones that were made for the sequel are the 3 Little Pigs, the Elliot Dragon Blotworks, Abe, and the Spirit of Wasteland. There are some side quests that test the gamer's morality, but there's not a lot like last time, and some of them drag for a long time, like Horace finding a new partner, helping the 3 Little Pigs end their career, or helping Donald fix his boat for his date with Daisy. It doesn't help either that the main story is pretty short. Based on the experience, it's supposed to be like a 3-chapter adventure after the Yensen and Dark Beauty Castle levels. The first chapter focuses on Oztown and Disney Gulch, the second one is set in Bog Easy and the longest section out of all of them, and the final act starts in Ventureland. However, not everything in the story is bad. In the sequel, the Mad Doctor has a lot of development out of everyone in the game. While there is something very suspicious about him for obvious reasons, he does have a personal goal on becoming a Toon again. In the first game, it was revealed he was a robot because he tried to become immune to the Shadow Blot's paint and thinner and tried to become part animatronic to control the monster. Now that the blot is gone, he's now trying to figure out a way to become a Toon. There's also this other gremlin named Prescott who is sick and tired of working at the gag factory and wants to be recognized for his brilliance. In addition, there are some unique expansions after Mickey saved the day for both the locations and the characters. The Bloodlings have become either pets, partners, or residents of Wasteland in Blot Alley. The train tunnels feature memorabilia of Mickey's first adventure. Animatronic Daisy runs a news network. Captain Hook is gone and his pirate crew has gone their separate ways. The DECs contains a bunch of archived Disney souvenirs. And the float yard is an eerie place where all Wasteland Disney floats reside.
And for what I can put together, the game's trying to send a message about second chances, which could actually work as the moral of the game, but they barely bring it up, and they kinda already did that in the original when Oswald became friends with Mickey. But why did this game become so short?
Well, ever since people started to love the first game, we tried to give everything that they wanted for what we could give under the deadline, and some of our big plans weren't finished on time and got scrapped at the end. We even tried to put in a surprise ending for sequel baiting. But now, we'll never know what Epic Mickey 3 could have been.
Though, to be fair, I would take the ending's bait because I was so curious about it. But let's get to the main portion of the sequel is trying to improve over the predecessor, the gameplay.
With the gameplay in this sequel, this one is mostly pretty good, but there are still some bugs that need tweaking. The major improvement that people complained in the first game is the camera work. Now you can manually rotate it however you like. The other moves are still the same, like using the paintbrush to thin or paint tunes, and Mickey attacking enemies with his spin attack. However, he's not fighting the Blotlings alone. Oswald gets attacked along with his helicopter glide, Lucky Rabbitfoot boomerang, and electric remote control that hack or activate any machinery. You do get to play as him if you're in multiplayer mode. If you're playing the game by yourself, Oswald will be AI controlled, but he gets pretty lost and doesn't always listen to your commands. The TV Stop Watching Anvil sketches return to aid the duo, but now there's a fairy sketch which allows you to hover any objects. The game includes a photo snapshot which allows you to take pictures around Wasteland or complete side quests like finding hidden Mickeys or Oswalds. One of my favorite things about playing the game is jumping into the 2D projection levels, and although there's a lot less than last time, the cartoons they chose are still enjoyable to travel. There's now a two-way walkway where you get to decide where do you want Mickey and Oswald to walk through, and the film reels you collect can actually be used as shortcuts to the places you just visit. In addition, there's now more currencies you have to collect to either buy some stuff or fix parts of Wasteland. The e-tickets are still the same for the regular shots, but you had to get some scrap metal to fix things, some cloth for the new costumes at the haberdashers, which some of the costumes can give you some special abilities, and you need to collect some Mickey pins to buy special pins or more scrap metal. The latter is what the sequel manages to see on making the Mickey pins more useful than they were last time. For some of the side quests, they do often feel like a chore than anything when searching around Wasteland, like finding special pins to awaken spirits of Wasteland, painting telephone boxes for the 3 little pigs, or collecting artifacts to give either the museum owner or Gremlin Copernicus. When it comes to the enemies you fight, they are pretty good where you either get to redeem them with paint or kill them with thinner. And then there comes the boss battles. Since the story is short, this one only has 3 bosses. The Elliot Dragon is good, but the last 2 just drag on for a long time. No pun intended, by the way. But going back to the voice dialogue, I still like we get to hear our favorite characters talking during the cutscenes, but during the gameplay on the other hand, this is where it ended up overstaying its welcome. As you journey deeper into the levels to solve some puzzles or defeat some of the bosses, the voiceovers from Oswald, the villains, and especially Gremlin Gus keeps on talking or repeating the same lies as if the levels were afraid to be too quiet.
This one's mine.
Button down the hatches, matey. I think that's one of the hidden Mickeys Seth was telling us about.
Oswald, we found some extra bricks. We should send them to Main Street and reconstruct the buildings from there.
In a minute, guys. I'm not done with my call yet.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. The mission of rescuing gremlins from cages does come back, but the impact on rescuing them rarely happens, like discounts on Wasteland repairs and some forgettable unlockables.
Yeah, this is why I wish I could replace the 2 with a new one if the first Rebrushed became successful, so that I can have enough space for the side quests and the extra content like that Wonderland level we've been trying to create. Have you seen those comparison videos on the remake lately?
Oh yeah, and the hype just keeps on growing. And I get where you're coming from, and I will always love the first game over the follow-up, but the thing is, the sequel is still an enjoyable game to play.
Huh?
Epic Mickey 2 The Power 2 is a step backwards to one of the most famous Disney video games with a weak and short story and annoying gameplay dialogue. But there are still some things that are worth admiring or even remembering, like the visuals are still nice and the gameplay is still functional and good. If you really like the first Epic Mickey game, then you might like this one as well. It won't be as extravagant as the predecessor, but there may be a chance you could end up having a soft side towards it. Will they want this sequel to get rebrushed like the upcoming one? I am open to that idea with fixing some of the issues, and I want to see the Epic Mickey trilogy to be fulfilled, but I don't know story-wise on how to keep the Power 2 intact but still level it up to be on par with the first original. I can think of lots of ideas for follow-ups on Mickey's adventures in Wasteland, but for now, let's just wait and see on where this new reprinted chapter of the game is going to take us in the future and make an experience worth remembering. And who knows, maybe Epic Mickey 2 and some of the series' canceled projects may come back better than ever. As for the sequel we currently got as of now, I'm going to give it a B-.
Okay, thank you, Patrick. I do feel a little bit better over my last adventure. Hopefully the new Epic Mickey series will be lucky this time.
Are you kidding? You're the lucky rabbit! You've always had luck on your side. Remember those legacies I showed you from my last video? Well, now you've gotten bigger and gaming again, and you got yourself a popular cartoon short. If you're really insistent on making a different Epic Mickey 2, perhaps if there's an option available, you can make a new Epic Mickey sequel without using any 2s or 3s.
I haven't really thought about that. I'll talk to the spirits of Wasteland if they approve this idea. But before I can do that, do you think I can play your second game?
Only if I get to play as you this time.
You got it.
I'm Mad Hair Patrick. Now if you'll excuse me, I got even more catching up to do.
thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, check out these other videos, or feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more upcoming reviews and other projects. I'll see you soon.